According to an XRP lawyer and attorney, the SEC and Ripple XRP may be at the verge of settlement. There is only one possible outcome. iToken holders attorney John Detton believes that Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will try to reach a settlement. A claim that the SEC, headed by Chair Gary Gensler, is entangled in its own dispute with other cryptocurrency platforms formed the basis of his remark. According to attorney Deaton, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's stance against Bitcoin startups is akin to a warlike fight. On top of that, he mentioned the bill introduced by U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren to curb the suspected use of cryptocurrency for criminal purposes like drug trade, money laundering, and sanction violations. According to what Detton said in a podcast, the SEC would be putting itself in a dangerous position if it settled the XRP complaint and then went on to regulate other cryptocurrencies. This is a conflict between our factions. Elizabeth Warren proposed the measure. However, according to the attorney, the sole way for the parties to come to an agreement would be if Coinbase were to fully or partially win their dismissal case to enable the trade of crypto assets that were considered securities. The Securities and Exchange Commission accused Coinbase in June of 2023 of operating an unlicensed securities exchange. In response, the Bitcoin exchange moved to dismiss the case, claiming that the coins and tokens it owns do not qualify as securities and that the SEC lacks jurisdiction over the cryptocurrency market. The attorney cited a case that Morrison was involved in that was heard by the U.S. Supreme Court in relation to XRP institutional transactions. That being the case, the court ruled that the SEC only had authority within the U.S. Thus, it's possible that this will shield most of Ripple's token sales that took place outside of the U.S., while excluding a small fraction of sales made to US-based institutional investors. In July 2023, the judge who oversaw the summary judgment ruled in favor of Ripple when it came to selling tokens to retail clients, according to analysts. When a petition to review its rule involving share repurchase data was presented to the Securities and Exchange Commission on December 19, 2023, it suffered yet another setback in court. After suffering numerous defeats in the cryptocurrency market, Ripple achieved a partial success in the XRP litigation, the most notable of the agency's numerous legal setbacks involving cryptocurrency. Judge Jerry. Myth of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit ruled on December 19 in favor of enabling the motion and eliminating the rule which commanded issuers to report daily share repurchase data every quarter, allowing Bitcoin whales to return as BlackRock prioritizes the approval of a Bitcoin ETF. The Securities and Exchange Commission authorized an amendment on May 3, 2023 that clarifies the disclosure requirements for securities repurchases. Issuers were mandated to report their daily repurchase activity either quarterly or semi-annually under the new laws. The United States Chamber of Commerce filed a petition challenging the new rule, and on October 31st, 2023, the court issued its ruling in response. According to the court, the SEC violated the Administrative Procedure Act by acting in an arbitrary and capricious manner. This is on top of not responding to petitioners' comments or conducting a cost-benefit analysis. In his most recent order, Judge Smith granted the motion to revoke the rule, explaining that the SEC had already had an opportunity to respond or object to the rule. The decision made by the Securities and Exchange Commission to refuse Grayscale clearance for an exchange-traded fund drive involving spot Bitcoin was deemed arbitrary and capricious by a panel of justices from the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. According to the complaint filed by Grayscale, the justices characterized the SEC's decisions as capricious after reviewing its precedents on the subject of Bitcoin futures exchange-traded funds. They argued that the CSE disregarded the mathematical and financial connection between the spot and futures markets. Consequently, Grayscale's request to reconsider the clearance decision for a spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund was considered. You know, someone who is an advocate for Ripple among lawyers. A security is not what XRP is, according to John Detton. Still, if traded on the main market, it might be considered a security. Regardless, he's stuck with his original stance that the Howey test doesn't apply to digital assets like Ripple and Bitcoin. The fact that they could be marketed as securities is something that Deaton is aware of. Under this situation, the SEC would have to look into every single transaction that happened in the main and secondary markets. A final court ruling is expected by Ripple's CEO in the next 6 months. Two outcomes are possible for the Ripple study. Even now, Ripple's CEO is optimistic about the future of the cryptocurrency industry. Many in the Bitcoin industry are predicting that Ripple's lawsuit will cause major shakeups. A final court ruling is expected by Ripple's CEO in 6 months. At the Dubai FinTech Summit, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said that the company expects to hear the final court decision within the next 6 months. To prevent lagging behind other nations and blockchain technology, Ripple has already spent a total of $200 million defending itself against the case. Garlinghouse has asked the US government for clarity on regulations. He agreed that the lawsuit has been time-consuming and costly, and he was sorry that other companies could have to go through the same thing with the SEC. If it is proven that XRP was sold as a security, the action against Ripple could have a different outcome than what the experts have predicted, which is a ripple effect that Brad has produced. Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission may reach an agreement, which is one possible result. Not only is the notion that tokens form investment contracts incorrect, but the Securities and Exchange Commission has failed to address it, according to Debt. The judge who oversaw the SEC's recent litigation has ruled that LBRI token secondary sales are not security sales. When it comes to the cryptocurrency environment, the comparison of exchange is consistently hopeful. CEO of Ripple Garlinghouse is optimistic about the ecosystem's long-term prospects due to the rapid improvement of the cryptocurrency's utility and problem-solving capabilities. However, if Ripple is successful in court, XRP's value can triple from its current level and potentially surpass its previous record high of $3. Ripple has demonstrated its commitment to expanding its presence in the region by choosing to locate its headquarters in Dubai International Financial Center in 2020. A lawyer who supports cryptocurrencies named Bill Morgan has expressed his dissatisfaction with the lackluster long-term pattern of the price movement of XRP. He made the observation that every time he attempted to bring up this matter, he was met with aggressive and dismissive replies from other XRP proponents rather than a sensible conversation. In his response to Morgan's post, Rath Kaname expressed his desire to explore the factors that, in his opinion, have been preventing the expansion of XRP. In his opinion, the fundamental reason for the underperformance of XRP is connected to the nature and origins of the cryptocurrency. According to his explanation, in the year 2017, several individuals were compensated to disseminate negative propaganda regarding XRP, referring to it as a centralized banker's coin. Because of this, its reputation was harmed and it became less interesting in comparison to other coins that are decentralized and driven by the community. It was also brought to his attention that after XRP achieved its all-time high of more than $3 in the beginning of 2018, it was confronted with a significant setback when the United States Securities and Exchange Commission filed a lawsuit against Ripple and its management, alleging that they had conducted an unregistered securities offering. Due to the fact that they had been waiting for a good decision, XRP investors and developers were filled with anxiety and worry as a result of this court dispute, despite the recent triumph in court. The litigation has not yet achieved a resolution that can be considered definitive. That's all for now.